Well, that's a very loaded question about who I am favouring. I am so excited to see so many cricket fans here tonight. The World Cup final is certainly showing us an excellent competition. Well, that's a very loaded question about who I am favouring, but what do I think about this match? I am so excited to see so many cricket fans here tonight, and we're really pleased to be hosting this. The World Cup final is certainly showing us an excellent competition. It's really proving to be a close game, which all cricket fans love. It's not as interesting if it's an easy match, but we have the top tier teams playing each other, and it really is showing to be a great competition.
Because if you are talking about cricket, about both the sides,
yeah.
Who are your favorite cricketers from Australia and India?
Oh, well, I think that everyone loves Virat Kohli, right? Because he's just an absolute superstar. But there are so many young, talented players coming up through the ranks. And I'm also just tremendously impressed to see how many great women cricketers there are coming up. We were privileged enough to host the Australian team when they were out here in March, and they are just a remarkable team. They really look out for each other, and I really see that in the Indian team too. They are so professional, and I love the way that in finest Australian tradition, they like to give each other a bit of ribbing, but they also really support each other. I think that under the captaincy of Pat Cummins, the team is he's making some excellent calls obviously right now, which is great. I love the bowlers, Stark and Lyons. I think that they're amazing, but there are such great all-rounders as well. So Labuschagne is one of my favourites as well. But Smith getting that century, and of course I would just have to say Boland, watching him, extraordinary. It really makes me get goosebumps thinking that he's the second Indigenous Australian Test cricketer, and he's like the metronome. His ability to just deliver time after time again so consistently and to deny runs. Amazing.
Let's talk about the outgoing High Commissioner.
Yes.
It's a very emotional time. 20th of June, it's going to be the last. We've seen External Minister Jaishankar also give him a farewell.
Yes.
What are the highs and about his tenure? What are your thoughts? Because you're very closely connected.
Well, High Commissioner Barry O'Farrell has just been an extraordinary leader. He will leave us going out on such a high. He has earned such respect amongst our large team, which has actually grown under his watch, which is a real testament to how he has grown the relationship. It was under his leadership that we have seen the relationship elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership, which means that across the board of all of our agencies working on broadening the relationship, deepening the relationship, there's been something that every single one of us has worked on, from the trade FTA to the expansion of defence relationship, to renewable energy, to empowerment of women. It's just been remarkable under his leadership.
One of the key highlights of his tenure is ECTA.
Yes.
And what are your thoughts on that, and how do you look into the future?
Well, we feel immensely proud that the government of India chose, of all of the suitors lining up to negotiate a free trade agreement with India, that Australia was the second after the UAE. And it is just such a great result for Indian consumers, because now 96% of Indian goods enter Australia tariff-free, and 86% of Australian goods enter India tariff-free. And this is extraordinary because it's going to result in better outcomes for Indian consumers, and it's going to also really help contribute to Make in India program, because cheaper inputs lead to more efficient and competitive Indian goods.
Let's talk about, because you being a diplomat as well, so how do you look at the India relationship at present, and through cricket as well, plus from the diplomatic front?
Yes, I have a personal great passion for India. I was here 1993 as a backpacker. And so to see the transformation and to come back is such a privilege. We all here very much believe very strongly in this relationship, and we think that there is so much more that we can do. And we're just so excited all the time to be here because of that drive to deepen our relationship and the sense of respect and camaraderie with India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi just had a visit to Australia, and Prime Minister did say that Prime Minister Modi is the boss. That's the catch phrase.
Yes.
How do you look at the visit?
Yes.
And the commitment by your Prime Minister?
Well, we were, at the first part, a little disappointed that we weren't able to showcase Sydney through the Quad Summit. But the best thing about it for a diplomat in India is it became India Week. And so we were able to showcase all of the dimensions of the expansion of our relationship. You saw the response that Prime Minister Modi ji engendered amongst the Australian public. It was an opportunity for the Indian Australia diaspora to shine. Nearly 1 million, which may not sound much in India, 1.4 billion, but it's now 3.8% of our population. That's a huge percentage of our population and our fastest growing. The diaspora in India, in Australia, is very welcome and making such an immense contribution to Australia. And what I loved most of all was hearing Prime Minister Modi, in response to Prime Minister Albanese, referring to him and introducing him as the boss, was hearing Prime Minister Modi saying the best thing about our relationship is its foundation on mutual trust and respect. This is not something that could be said for all relationships that India has with some of its other partners, and it's something that made me very proud.